So good morning, everyone. Once again, for those of you who are just joining and are here already, we've been getting excited about coding and robots and saying that our robots can even do work for us and all sorts of really fun and exciting things. So just a reminder that I am Mr. O, Mr. Olson, Mr. OK, Mr. Omo, Mr. OT, whatever you want. Okay, so just here, Hacker H says you can't hear. You might just need to check your settings because I think I am coming through otherwise, but please do let me know if you are unable to. Well, I suppose you couldn't let me know if you couldn't hear. Hey, okay, I hope that you do get that sorted. Keep on trying. Okay, so this week we are investigating robots, and we've been saying that robots are machines that can do things that a person can do, and can sometimes do it even better. Thank you, Tandeka, for letting me know that you can hear nicely. Hopefully, whoever can't hear, the Hacker H is able to sort that out shortly. And then what I started to hear from you guys just a little bit is what makes you excited about robots and coding. And we've heard that, man, it's awesome that they can do things, they can work, they can maybe even, I look forward to the day where it can just take the rubbish out completely by itself. Oh, that'll be great if that day comes. Let's hear some other things from you guys about what are you excited about when you think about robots and coding. Let's hear from Refilware. Good morning, Refilware. Good morning, Refilware. And what makes you excited about robots and coding? Okay, can't hear quite nicely there. We'll maybe come back to you a little bit later. Keep thinking about it, and you can even type it out in the chat if mom and dad are there. Okay, and then Tandeka, yes, what makes you excited about robots and coding?
That makes me excited. I wish the robot can make me breakfast.
Oh, that would be absolutely awesome. I would love a robot that could make a breakfast. I think there are robots that are starting to do things like that. Whoa, that'd be cool. Or maybe one day you could make one and then it can make lots of people breakfast, especially people who can't make breakfast for themselves, who would normally need another person there to
I want
do
to
that.
build one like that.
Oh, that is such a cool idea. Well, today we're going to be going through something called the engineering process. And if you follow this process, this is what real engineers follow, then you're going to learn and start to plan out how you could make that robot. Maybe you would make it and then lots of people would buy it and then it would help so many people and you can use that money to get even more robots for more people. And you're, oh, wow. Okay. Let's take it down a notch and ask ourselves this next question. And that is, this is something that Dennis and I have been thinking about. And I don't know if you have as well. And here's my question for you. Who makes robots? Or I should actually add to that, who designs and makes robots? Who do you think designs and makes robots? Okay, Kaylee. Yes, Kaylee, what do you think? Who do you think designs and makes robots?
Humans.
Fantastic answer. Humans, yes, humans. Do you think there are any robots out there that make more robots? Whoa. I mean, who made, where's our picture of the robot? Let me go back to it over here. Who made this robot? Did a person put all of these pieces together, or did another robot make these pieces and put these pieces together? Whoa, that's an interesting thought. Okay, so we've got humans are the ones who design and make robots. But what kind of humans do you think make and design robots? Is it bank tellers? Is it people who work at Pick and Pay or at a shop? I wonder who it is who makes it. Well, let's take a think about it and let's have a look at these. We've got all of these robots over here. There are so many different kinds. These are the ones we looked at them briefly yesterday and said they're doing different things like building and playing music, and one is even designed to go on the moon. But who made it? Who made these? Who designed and makes these? Oh, Oh boy. Okay, Audrey, I think you might have an idea. Let's hear. Audrey, who do you think designs and makes these robots?
Your daddy.
Do you think it's my daddy who makes these? Oh, I know my daddy would actually love to make these kind of things, but he actually makes more things with wood. And I've spoken to him a lot about bringing together some of his wooden creations and seeing how we can combine it and make robots. Wooden robots? I just think that sounds really, really cool. So maybe it is my daddy. I wonder, does anybody's mommy or daddy out there make and design robots? Huh. Okay, let's hear from Tandeka again. Yes, good morning.
Good morning, teacher. My daddy can build a robot, and my mom.
Whoa, that is awesome. They can both build robots. That is very, very cool. I like that. And Ibrahim, yes, what have you got to say? Yes, Ibrahim? Who do you think makes and design robots? Does your mommy and daddy?
No.
No. Do you know anyone, or who do you think made and designed these robots?
A factory.
Ah, maybe a factory. You know what? That's some good thinking over there. That this wouldn't have just been somebody, most likely, just sitting in their garage and putting this together. This needs a massive factory. In fact, this one over here, the red one, that one is in a factory already. So there must be a factory that made this so that it could work in a factory. Whoa. Okay. Let's hear from Rory-san. Yes, Rory-san. Who do you think designs and makes these robots?
Scientists.
Oh, I like that. Scientists. So it's scientists who are going through this process and thinking it through and deciding on how and why to make these. I love that thinking. Thank you for that. Well done. And let's hear from Khanya as well. Good morning, Khanya. Who do you think makes these and how and why and all of those things?
It's aliens and engineers.
I love that. Aliens and engineers. Well, I'm not so sure about those aliens, but I am quite sure about engineers. Absolutely brilliant. Great thinking. Engineers, somebody who engineers something. And we're going to be thinking about what an engineer does and how they do it today. But let's first just hear from Ibrahim and Rafiel. Ibrahim, yes. What would you like to add to that?
I would like to say also some people who work for electricity.
Oh, good. Yeah, so we can see with all of these, electricity is such an important part of this. In fact, without any electricity, none of these things would exist or would work. Well, we couldn't get any robots or any computers to work without electricity. Well, did you guys know that we also have electricity in our bodies? It's not as much as these over there, but that's how our brain works. It's with chemicals and electricity. It's amazing. Oh, okay. I want to remember that because we're gonna say that point again. Okay. Yes, Rafiel, what do you want to talk about with engineers and these robots and who makes them and how and why? Yes, Rafiel.
Somebody that makes robots.
Mm-hmm. And who do you think that would be? Any ideas who that might be? Okay, you know what? Keep thinking about it because that's what we're going to be thinking about a lot. So we're going to see if we want to make robots, what is some of the things that we might need to do? That's what we're going to be thinking about. So let's hear then from Ibrahim. Yes, Ibrahim. Yes, Ibrahim, are you there? Can you hear? Yes. What would you like to add?
I would like to add some people make electricity for robots even when they need.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, very, very good thinking. Yes, so we've got robots that need electricity. We've got different ways that we can do that. Just a reminder again, please don't switch your video on as we're doing this now. On Friday, I'll tell you about it at the end. On Friday, we're going to have a chance to do that, to say hi to each other and all of that, but we're not going to have a chance right now. So hold on to that just for now, and we'll be able to do that on Friday. Okay, cool. So we've said engineers are using electricity. You know, you even get electrical engineers. I know one of those, and he builds some amazingly cool robots and things. But I would like to introduce you to Izuyama, the engineer. Say hello, Izuyama. Did she say hello back? I don't think so. Okay, so we're going to be telling the story about we're going to be telling the story about Izuyama, the engineer, and what she wants to do to help the people out around where she lives. So Izuyama is from, you know, I can't think of a place that she's from, but let's see if we can come up a place. Where do you think? Okay, so please remember to put your hand up, Audrey. Thanks so much for chipping in. It's really, really great, but we want to make sure that everyone gets a turn. Okay, so let's hear from Mpo and Kanya. Yes, Mpo and Kanya, where do you think Izuyama is from?
Can be from January.
Sorry, from where?
January.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Could be. Yes, good thinking. Let's hear where else maybe from. Let's Ibrahim, where would you like to? Where do you think Izuyama comes from? Let's hear a few places she could be from.
South Africa.
Oh, maybe from South Africa. Yes. Well, we got a lot of really, really great engineers here in South Africa. So I like that thinking. Yes, Tandeka, where do you think Izuyama is from?
I think she's from. I think she's a Zulu person because I think she's from.
Maybe she's from, yeah, maybe from our country, from South Africa. Maybe she has a Zulu culture. Very good thinking. I like that. Okay, let's hear from Refilwe Marima. Yes, Refilwe, where do you think Izuyama is from?
She's from Limpopo.
Yay, maybe she's from Limpopo. Oh, I love Limpopo province. She could very well be from there. Let's hear from Kanya. Kanya, where do you think Izuyama's from?
Africa.
Oh, maybe just from Africa. Maybe she even travels throughout Africa. Maybe she's from Ghana or Nigeria or Morocco or Egypt. Oh, interesting. Yes, Zoe, good morning. And where do you think Izuyama is from?
From space.
Maybe she's from space. Oh, do you think she could be one of those alien engineers? I don't think so, but I love that thinking. That's very creative. And then let's hear from Sipesihle. Yes, Sipesihle, where do you think Izuyama is from?
Limpopo is 5 hours away.
Whoa. Okay, so maybe she's from Limpopo, which could be, depending on where you are, 5 hours away or nearby or further away. Okay, we're just going to hear 2 more suggestions and then we can decide on where she is from. So let's hear from Ibrahim again. Yes, Ibrahim, where do you think Izuyama is from?
She's from Cape Town.
Maybe from Cape Town. Oh, cool. I was speaking to someone yesterday from Cape Town. It's not really, it's in the same province as I am, but that's cool. And I don't think he makes robots. And his name certainly wasn't Izuyama. But maybe Izuyama is also from there. Okay, last one, let's hear from Mpo. Yes, Mpo, where do you think Izuyama is from?
And
from the moon.
Oh, maybe from the moon. That is very, very funny. I like that. Okay, cool. So we've got Izuyama, and I think what we can conclude from this is that Izuyama, the engineer, or us, if we wanted to be engineers, we could come from pretty much anywhere. We could come from Limpopo, we could come from Western Cape, we could come from South Africa or Africa or wherever, maybe even space. We can be engineers. Okay, so let's have a think. And you know, let's say that Izuyama is somewhere in Limpopo. Okay, let's stick with that because I think that's a really, really nice example. And now Izuyama is in her neighborhood in Limpopo, and she's thinking about some of the things that there are, some of the problems that she has in her area where she lives. What sort of problems do you think there might be in the area? Maybe on the street that she's living on, or in the neighborhood that she's living in? Oh, I'm so glad that you can hear now, Hacker H. Thank you for letting us know. Glad that that is working. Okay, what are some of the problems you think might be around where she lives, things that you'd want to be better? Okay, we've got a few hands up. Let's hear from them. Let's hear from Zoe first. Yes, Zoe, what do you think some of the problems might be for Izuyama?
There's not enough water.
Oh, okay. So it could be too hot and maybe there's not enough water. Maybe there are droughts there often. I know where I live, we've had big problems with droughts as well. Sure, that's a very realistic one. Okay, let's hear now from Ibrahim. Ibrahim, what sort of problems do you think there might be where Izuyama lives?
She can make fuel.
Okay, so maybe there's not enough fuel, not enough energy. Okay, I like that one. That we might actually come back to that one. That might be an important one. Okay, let's hear from Sibisikle. Yes, Sibisikle, what do you think some of the problems are where she lives?
Or maybe she was flying in the sky, and maybe she was in a spaceship, but when the spaceship broke, she was going back to her home. So she's gonna fly right straight into our house and crash.
Boy. Okay, so maybe there are all the problems around her if she did come from space. But remember, we've said that she is in Limpopo. That's where she lives. And maybe she did come there from space. But let's save that for one of our other stories. I like that idea. That's very funny. Okay, let's hear then from Refiwe. Yes, Refiwe, what problems do you think there are around where she lives?
Littering.
Oh, maybe littering. Okay, good thinking, good ideas. Sure, you guys are really thinking about this. I like that. Okay, let's hear from Audrey. Audrey, what problems do you think there might be around Izuyama's place where she lives?
Electricity.
Electricity, yes, energy and power. And oh, I feel like a lot of us in South Africa are struggling with that at the moment. So yes, electricity and getting energy could be such an issue. Okay, let's hear Kaylee. What issues or problems do you think Izuyama might be having?
She might have streets are all clogged up with cars.
Whoa, maybe there is a lot of traffic. Good thinking. Yeah, there could be a whole lot of traffic there and people not able to get to work on time. And maybe it's not very safe for boys and girls to cross the streets because there are so many cars. Well, that's good thinking. Okay, let's just hear one more for now so that we can just move on for now. Let's hear from Kanya. Yes, Kanya, what problems do you think there might be around where Izuyama lives?
Maybe she doesn't have a home, and maybe she doesn't know she's home, and it's dark.
Oh, okay. So maybe firstly, she doesn't have a nice, safe home. I mean, that's one of your rights as a children, to have a nice, safe home. And what if maybe it is a dark, scary kind of place, and she doesn't like that it's all dark. Okay, good thinking. That sort of links up a little bit with electricity as well. Okay, so let's have a look. I've got some other examples that we could have said, which you guys have actually said quite a few of them quite nicely. We've got a broken pipe. So we've got, maybe there's a lot of broken old pipes with water that's just being wasted, where water is so precious. And we said that there are, sometimes droughts, and we've got some of the best drinking water in the whole wide world. And it's such a waste when there are just pipes that break and it just kind of runs down the road. We've got this road over here, which is, I think, just a little bit more far gone than just potholes, but maybe there are really damaged roads. And maybe there is, like, I can't remember who said it, but she said there's a lot of litter. So maybe there is a lot of litter and a lot of rubbish. Whoa, okay. So she has this problem now, and that's where engineers start. Engineers and scientists look for, hey, where is the problem? Okay, so an engineer is thinking about exactly where is the problem. Now they need an algorithm that they can use to solve this problem. And let's hear, what do you guys think? What do you think the process is? What does an engineer do to start solving a problem? You can choose one of these 3 problems and say, what do you think an engineer would do to try and solve this? What would Izuyama do to try and solve this? Okay, let's see. Okay, we'll start with Tandega. Yes, Tandega. What do you think Izuyama, the engineer, would do?
I think she would fix it.
Okay, good.
Teacher, can I read it?
Okay, so I like that. Oh, sorry, I cut you off as you were saying something there. So yes, she wants to fix it. And she's really got to think about how she can fix it. Because I love that. You know, there's something wrong and then it's harming some people and it's not good for our neighborhood. So we want to fix it. We want to help. Great. Okay, let's hear next from Audrey. Yes, Audrey, what do you think Izuyama could do to fix this? Yes, Audrey? Oh, sorry, please say again.
Some builders.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, so somewhere in there, she's going to need builders, you know, something to help like that. Okay, good. Ibrahim, yes. What do you think Izuyama would do? What do you think the process is, the algorithm that she would use?
We will do the pipes, the road, and the rubbish.
Okay, so get rid of those, rebuild, do all those things. Okay, okay, great. We're seeing we've definitely got to fix these problems. Rafielware, what do you think?
Somebody who's been an engineer for years.
Oh, that's great thinking. What she could go to somebody who's an engineer and who has been doing this kind of stuff for years. Whoa. Okay, that's really, really interesting. Okay, Kaylee, yes. What do you think Izuyama would do?
What we should do first thing she should do, look where she should start.
Oh, good. Okay, so she needs to know exactly where she should start. And in the next slide, you're going to see we're going to remember a way. We're going to try to memorize a way that we can be an engineer like Izuyama and figure out exactly what steps we need to take. Okay, so let's hear just from the last few people on this, and then we're going to go on to that Sipisikle. Yes, what do you think Izuyama should do or could do? What would she do?
But it took more than years to build this house.
Whoa.
It took 4 months to build the house.
Whoa. So if it takes, 4 months to build a house, and these are big problems. I mean, especially a road like that, maybe it would take really long. So she's got to plan well now so that, she doesn't make a mistake at the start that could make it, terrible at the end. Like with building a house, if the architects and the builders didn't make a good foundation for that house, they could build for those 4 months or a year or however long, and then that could just break down so quickly. So our planning and our process is super important. I like saying that. Our planning and our process is super important. Okay, Kanya, what do you think Izuyama would do? What's her process?
She could call an engineer to take one of the pipes out because one of the pipes has holes in it. So they put a new one in it and the water doesn't go out anymore.
Oh, fantastic. And that would solve just that pipe. But what if they were having even more problems with pipes and they didn't even know where it was? Whoa. Okay, I agree with you. You need engineers for something like this. But how would they solve it? We know that Izuyama is an engineer. How would she solve it? Cool. Okay, we're just going to hear from Mpo. and then we're going to move on. Yes, and Paul, what do you think Izuyama would do? Yes, and Paul, are you there?
See, let's bring a new pipe to put it on.
Okay, so maybe just bring a new pipe and kind of slap it on, and maybe that would work. But what if there were more broken pipes? What if there were a lot of old and broken pipes? Okay, so let's have a look. We're going to go step by step now, and we're going to try to remember what an engineer like Izuyama would do, so that we can also solve problems like this. You know, we want to know what should she do. There are 5 steps to her engineering process. Now, we could also say this is an engineering algorithm to help solve problems. How many steps are there? Yeah, that's right. Yes, there are 5 steps that she can take. Okay, so the big words for this are investigate, design, make, evaluate, and communicate. And if you want to remember it like that, that's great. You can go ahead and you can remember it like that. But I thought I would say it, and it's in a nice way for us to remember. It makes it a little bit easier to remember. Okay, so step 1 is, and point to your eyes when you hear this, so point to your eyes. Step 1 is look carefully at what's happening. Are you pointing to your eyes? Okay, now say with me, look carefully at what's happening. Good. Okay, so step 1, look carefully at what happens. Step 2, now tap your head or your chin, the top of your head or your chin. You can choose whichever one you use when you think. So I'm going to tap the top of my head. For step 2 is think of ways to fix it. Okay, say that with me now. Think of ways to fix it. So let's try step 1 and step 2. You ready? Here we go. Step 1, look carefully at what's happening. Step 2, think of ways to fix it. Good, you got that so far? Oh, nice and easy. Okay, come on, Mr. Olsen, make it more challenging. Okay, here we go. Step number 3, you rub your hands together as you say, make it. Okay, step 3 is make it. Say it with me now, make it. Good. Okay, so let's see if we can do step 1, 2, and 3. Step 1, point to your eyes, look carefully at what's happening. Step 2, tap your head, think of ways to fix it. Step 3, rub your hands together, make it. Step 4 is pointing to your eyes again, and it's check if it works, or see if it works. So check if it works. Okay, say it with me. Check if it works. Great. And then number 5, you point to your mouth and you tell someone. So step 5 is tell someone. Let's see if we can remember all 5. We're going to do it one more time together, and then we're going to go through each one, and we're going to see how it's going to help solve this problem. Okay, let's go. Step 1, point your eyes. Look carefully at what's happening. Step 2, tap your head. Think of ways to fix it. Step 3, rub your hands. Make it. Step 4, your eyes again. Check if it works. And step 5, your mouth. Tell someone. Whoa, very cool. Okay, let's see if we can hear from, okay, you know, we're not going to see if you've got it memorized just yet. You can keep practicing it if you want. We're going to go through each one, and at the end, I want to see if anybody has managed to memorize the whole thing, if they can remember the whole thing, where it's eyes, head, hands, eyes, mouth. Okay, cool. Let's go to the very first one. So the very first one is to look carefully at what's happening. So let's just choose one of these. We've been speaking the most about these pipes, okay? So let's make this nice and big so we can look carefully at what's happening. We need to figure out exactly what is going wrong. Exactly what is going wrong here. So if I look carefully and I say just the facts of what I can see here, it looks like there is a very old pipe on the left, and there's lots of water kind of squirting out. There are these bolts and all these things that look quite rusted. Okay. Do you guys see anything else in here? If you look carefully at what's happening and what is going wrong, anything else that you see? So I think what we can add with this then is that there are going to be many pipes that are going to break because there are going to be old pipes. And Izuyama is maybe going to want to design or engineer a robot or something like that to help sort this out. Let's hear from Paul. Yes, and Paul, do you see anything else there? Yes, and Paul?
There's a new pipe at the left and there's a broken pipe at the right.
Oh, very good. Just the other way around. So there's an old pipe on the left. You're absolutely right. Old pipe there. And a nice new pipe over here. So we can, I think we could really say, I mean, Izuyama will be able to go look at some more pipes, or, you know, maybe she can't even get to all of the pipes because they're underground. Maybe she needs another person to help her with that, another engineer to dig up the pipes to see if they're all okay. Okay. But what we need to know very specifically is what is going wrong. And I think we can kind of summarize that by saying that there are old pipes and leaking water. Okay, so that's what we know. We know that there are old pipes, there are old pipes, and they need to be replaced or they need to be fixed or something. All we know is that there is something going wrong with the pipes and they are leaking. Okay, because they are old. Now, does anybody remember what the next step is? Step 1 is look carefully at what's happening. Step 2 is, say it out loud if you know it. Good. Think of ways to fix it. Okay, so now this is where Izuyama tries to design a solution. So what we know from this step over here is that there are old pipes that are broken and that need to be replaced. So Izuyama has to think of ways to fix it. And I love some of the ideas that you guys threw in already of what if you ask other engineers who have done the same thing? Oh, that's really, really good thinking. Okay, and let's hear from Ibrahim. Yes, Ibrahim, what do you think Izuyama could do?
She can fix. If a car crash, she can fix it.
Okay, that's very helpful. If there is a car crash, maybe she could help with that. But we're focusing in and saying, well, how could she fix this specifically? We're going through the engineering process where we've looked carefully at what's happening, and now we're thinking of ways to fix it. What are some of the ideas that she might have? And remember, when you're thinking of ideas, there's no such thing as a silly idea, because a silly idea can help get you to a great idea. So whatever idea you have over here, try to think of it and let's see if it might actually help. Okay, so let's hear from Rafilwe. Yes, Rafilwe, what do you think some of the ideas Izuyama might have to fix it?
The engineer can make a robot and then dig it and then that robot can dig and then the engineer can get in.
Good. Oh, that's such good thinking. Okay, so maybe she should get a robot. She needs to design and engineer a robot that can dig and get to the pipes. Oh, that is some great thinking. Okay, let's hear from Tandeka. Yes, Tandeka, what are some of the solutions, the designs you think Izuyama might come up with?
She might come up with that she can fix when a gate is broken, she can fix it.
Oh, okay. So maybe just like if a gate is broken, she can fix that there. And remember, we are focusing on this broken pipe over here where there is water leaking out in her neighborhood. That's what we've done the first step. We've looked carefully at what's happening. And now we're thinking of ways to fix it. And so far we've got, well, maybe a robot could help with digging up the pipes. I like this idea of robots, I think you know where I'm going with this. Kaylee, yes, what do you think are some of the ways that she could design solutions? What designs might she come up with?
Make a robot that can undo that broken pipe and put a new one in. And also that big twisty thing and the screws, you know, the big round thing.
Yes, yes, yes. Oh, that's very, very good thinking, because if Izuyama just went and walked up to that with no tools or anything like that, there's no ways she could take that pipe off. And if she did, then maybe that water would come shooting out at her and knock her over, and there would be even more wasted water and she could get hurt. Whoa, that got dangerous real quick. Okay, so I love that. A robot that could go, that would be strong enough. So we know that this robot should be able to dig, that it should be strong enough that it can tighten and loosen those bolts. Good, very, very good thinking over there. And maybe it needs to be able to see which are the pipes that are old, so that it's not just waiting for a pipe to burst, but checking which ones are old and close to bursting and close to breaking, and then maybe you could replace those. Okay, good thinking, guys. Let's hear from Ibrahim. Yes, Ibrahim, what other designs do you think Izuyama might come up with?
She can fix the road that's broken, and she can fix the electricity.
Oh, good. Okay, so that would be helpful in her neighborhood if those were the other problems she was looking at. But one of the very, very important things about engineering is to really focus in on what is the problem that we are trying to solve. Because if she is trying to solve all of these problems at once, oh boy, that's not going to work. That's going to be very, very difficult, very challenging. So what she needs to do is focus in on the one, just looking at the pipes. And we've said, hey, robots could help digging up all of that. Okay, let's hear just from maybe one more person before we go on to the next step, just so that we don't run out of time, because we are running quite short. Okay, so Kanya, what do you think some of the design ideas she might come up with are? Yes, Kanya? Okay, sorry, Kanya, we couldn't hear you on that one. Let's move forward, because our first step was look carefully at what's happening. Second step is think of ways to fix it, to design, engineer, and to fix it. And then the third step, or does anybody remember the third step? Oh, that's right, make it. So after she has designed it, she will prototype it, which means that she tries it out on kind of a smaller scale first. She builds a little robot, maybe that can check out little pipes. She tries to code a program so that it can check the pipes, so that it can see how old they are, and it can pick up water leaks. Maybe that it has attachments so that it can dig up ground if it needs to. And it needs to have really strong parts as well, so that it can take those things off, those nuts and bolts off, and it can reattach them. Okay, so she has to make it. And then we've got our next step of, does it work? So after she has made it, she needs to test if it works. And she might test it by actually taking it over to some of those pipes, some of those testing pipes, and seeing if her robot works. And then the last step is all about telling someone about it, to communicate this awesome thing that she's done, because then they're going to give her feedback, help her out with, hearing if she hasn't maybe got it wrong in some way. And other people can use this idea and it can help them too. She could create a business from this. She could not only just create a business, but she could help so many people. If she made a robot, designed and engineered a robot that could solve this problem, she could save so much water. She wouldn't just be helping people in Limpopo, she would be helping people all over the world. So communicating or telling someone that last step is really, really important. Okay, so let me hear from you now. If you remember, who remembers these 5 steps off by heart? I'm going to say them once with you now. Let's say them once all together. And then I'm going to take this slide away. I'm going to take it just back there. And then you're going to see if you can remember all of it. Okay, so let's start in 3, 2, 1. Look carefully at what's happening. 2, think of ways to fix it. 3, rub hands, make it. 4, eyes again, check if it works. And 5, point to your mouth, Tell someone. Okay, now let's hear. Who thinks they know that off by heart? Who thinks they remember that? Okay, let's hear from a few hands going up. We're not going to have time for everyone. We're going to have time for 2 people to try it out. Okay, let's hear from Mpho. Mpho, do you think you have it? Yes, and Paul, what are the 5 steps? Start with number 1. What are the 5 steps? Do you remember?
Yep.
Okay, say them for us, please.
It was.
Okay, cool. Keep thinking. Let's go to someone and then make sure that you are repeating with us as we go. Let's hear from Rafilwe. Yes, Rafilwe, do you remember those 5 steps? Yes, Rafilwe? Oh, not quite. Okay, let's hear from Kaylee. Yes, Kaylee. Kaylee, do you remember those 5 steps?
Yes, I do. It was see carefully what the problem is. Second is think what you can do. Third is make it. Fourth is look carefully. And fifth is tell someone.
Absolutely fantastic thinking. Well done on listening so carefully and using, I assume that you used your pointing. So let's say it together one more time. And I'm going to tell you what to point at and the step. And I want to see tomorrow if you guys remember this. Okay. So step 1, look carefully at what's happening or what the problem is. Step 2, think of ways to fix it. Step 3, rub your hands together, make it. Step 4, look, check if it works. 5 is touch your mouth, tell someone. Fantastic, there you go. Okay, I'm glad that we've all got it over there. Okay, so just a reminder, on Friday, we're gonna have a very special session where we're gonna recap all the things that we have done together. And then we're going to have a chance for the last few minutes to hear from your mummies and daddies, to switch on our cameras and all wave hello to each other, and then just have a few minutes to chat and see each other like that. So that's going to be Friday. I'm excited for that. I hope that you're looking forward to that. But on our other sessions now, remember, we're not going to be putting on our videos now. Okay, so what we have then for now is just me saying thank you very much for joining us once again this morning, and we will see you soon.